Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Domits podcast. And today, sixth time in a row, you cannot guess who it is.
It's the one and only. It's Chiel. Welcome back, everyone.
And your favorite host, Dan. And today, again, we're at the amazing podcast room of the SRH Haarlem. And today, we are going to talk about lead generation. How you do it.
Why do you do it?
Why do you do it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I think, lead generation is, of course, one of the more important parts of the commercial department we have within Domits.
For sure.
What lead generation is just finding, contacting companies or business owners or just people in general who have, in our case, a vacation home. But yeah, lead generation could mean just gathering peers which you could call or contact to get a relationship with or talk to, you know.
So kind of the 101 would be is that you need to do a lot of audit and a lot of research. So it really depends on, first of all, the market. So which country are you trying to check the market for? So basically, it really depends on, especially in hospitality, right? First thing you do, for example, I work on the CE region, so Central Eastern Europe, and it consists of a decent amount of countries. So the first thing you do, you pick a certain country. Within that region, the most popular ones right now, it's always going to be Croatia. That's the first one.
Only thing at the coast, really, but I think Croatia.
Yeah, for sure. It's gotten
at least the southern part.
It's gotten really popular. And then Montenegro also quite popular. So if we take those two, the first thing you need to do is do compliance research. So you need to see what's the minimum amount of days, the maximum amount of days of rentals. That's kind of
basically what are the rules within the country to rent, because if it's really strict rules, it might be less valuable for a homeowner to work with us.
Absolutely. And then, for example, that also could be a lead if somebody's just starting within that region and they're interested in gathering as much information as possible on how to do business. That's also how we can help them to kind of convert that knowledge. But then, initially you do the research on the country. Then you check around which part is more popular in terms of rentals. And then, you just go and fight your fight with Airbnb and Booking and all the other platforms. And you do research on if they have their own websites. I think it's quite nice. Like whenever you find a property with their own website, you can actually see and do proper audit on it, what they're missing, what do they have, what don't they have.
What does the website look like?
Yeah, you kind of can get certain pain points. So you do this initial audit, so you can kind of understand what you can talk about. And then the points that you're missing, this is the ones that you're going to be asking. So you give them a call, preferably a call. You do your opener. That's your personal stuff. Every person has their own opener, kind of, I'd say. But then generally, and then you ask them questions depending on what you're missing. But then also cover it up. Don't make it too obvious that it's a sales call. You know, because what we're used to is people call, they say, oh, yeah, I'm from this company and I want to talk to you about...
You already want to shut them
You're
down.
like, oh, okay, I'm not interested.
You want to sell me something?
Get me off the contact list this instant.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, that's what usually happens.
Usually when I get called by a private number or a number I don't know, sometimes I don't even pick up, especially if it's not my zip code.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you have a business and if you're trying to make money, of course, people are going to maybe call you, or the other way around, you call people, they'll call you back. But I think one of the most important parts is opening and being respectful, because, I mean, you're calling someone, they're picking up in their own free time.
Yeah.
I think you first need to be a nice person and to be friendly. And I think maybe go back a little bit, because I think this is already going into like, how do you call and what do you do? I think just a bit more back into the lead generation. I think doing a proper audit and looking at their website, getting an idea of who you're talking to before you call, maybe see a picture of them. I think that will really helps as well. And it also, it can really decide if you could call in the general or not, because some websites, they look really professional and somebody behind it doesn't know what they're doing, and the other way around exists as well. You know, sometimes you see a website where you think, oh my God, this is terrible. This is like 10 years old. No, it's like 10 years old. The software is old. Yeah. But they're fully booked. They're happy, you know. They don't need your help. So I think yeah, not only lead generation is in how do you find leads, because you can use Google Maps, you can ask ChatGPT nowadays, you can ask friends, family, whatever. But I think the most important part of lead generation is doing that research and understanding if you could call, how you should call, why.
That research is the key point in separating good leads from like mid or bad leads.
I think so too. And I think finding leads is not necessarily hard, because you can just go into a Facebook group and say, hey, I'm looking for people who are renting out vacation homes, give them an email or call them without doing research, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think if you just do your research and you're like, hey, I saw your website, this and that, I saw you have this on your website, they'll immediately be like, hey, okay, this person is looking at my website, why? Because of course they're proud of their website, like they're proud of their business. If you just call them and you say, hey, I saw you have a home, that's all.
Yeah, that's why I think more solid leads actually convert from you researching the websites. If the place, that property has a website, it can actually tell you a lot.
I mean, I had a call like 2 weeks ago, I think. You were there as well.
Yeah.
It was a really nice woman. I was like, hey, I'm doing research. Can I ask some questions? Because I was really impressed by your website. It looks really professional. Your listing looks really good. And basically what I learned from her is, hey, I'm in the business for 25 years. I don't need your help in a nice manner, because she said, yeah, I've worked together with other people before and I was disappointed. So now I'm doing it myself. I quit my other job. I'm fine like this. But I learned a lot from the way she just spoke to me, and I learned a lot from how I analyzed the listing.
Yeah.
Because I knew it would be professional, because the house was really well, it looked really well, really professional. The website was very well designed. So I was like, yeah, of course this person might not even need help, or she might not be interested, but I still learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
So I think researching to decide if you should call is important, but I also think you should just call everyone, because the worst thing is saying no. I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of cold calling. I think it's kind of stressful. I think it is
not
absolutely my favorite thing to do, but it's of course really simple. Just say, just call. But that's the truth.
Yeah.
Simple truth. Just call.
Same with climbing, just go up.
Just do it. What the fuck?
Just go up.
Yeah. I think lead generation is very important. I think lead generation is not necessarily very hard. I think you just need to spend the boring time looking at Facebook groups.
Yeah, and like distinguish good and bad leads.
No, but first make a list. Just make a list of 20 leads.
Yeah, sure.
Get 20 websites in your region or somewhere else. Just get 20 websites in general and be like, okay, why would this person need help? How could I help them?
Yeah. But also I think a lot of people get stuck on lead generation. Not from the fact that they cannot do it. They just kind of, since they're anxious of calling, right? They're just stuck on gathering a lot of leads.
Yeah, they have like 80 leads, but they won't contact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it's good to have designated callers and designated lead generation.
Yeah, just what I wanted to say. Maybe somebody would be generating leads and then other people would be calling.
Because I think doing both is just not necessarily too much, but I think it's better to have somebody who analyzes them, makes proper audits, and
like
then
optimization,
Yeah, they send the audits to the callers and they can just keep calling.
Yeah, exactly.
Because let's be real, I think if you're only doing calls, you can do 10 calls an hour, pretty much. If they don't last too long.
Yeah.
You could, in a, of course, utopian way. But yeah, I think with the research and everything, it takes a lot longer to actually convert someone. Because of course you can just call every minute. It's not hard. But to actually have a good story and to actually convince someone like, hey, let's call again because I want to inform you about what I do and why I called you. I think that requires more research. It requires a good back end, if so to say.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Yeah.
I don't like calling, so I left the sales department.
I get it. Yeah.
I think lead generation is very important.
No, but it was, I wouldn't say it was a bumpy road, but it definitely was a journey of understanding from like 0 to 100 of how to properly look for leads.
That's true.
Yeah. So
it's not just, I started by just looking at Google Maps and looking at random vacation homes, but yeah, that's not really the most optimal way to do it.
No.
Oh, well, I think for me, it's better to not be too deep into the commercial part. But I think
as a product manager, I understand.
Yeah, but I do think it's important. And I think for me, it's more important to have the connection between sales and product.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I could help with lead generation. I still have a map or a folder with a lot of leads.
Yeah.
for Austria, Germany, Switzerland. But yeah, I think to have designated lead generation would be good. I think that's maybe
absolutely.
a next step we should take.
Everyone finds their way.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I guess
I don't really have anything else to say about lead generation. It's not.
That's pretty much
it's
it.
not simple, but it's not hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just have to do it for a while and then get used to, okay, how do I find leads? How do I quickly analyze whether or not they could use Domits? Because we're talking about Domits now, but of course lead generation is very similar for almost all companies.
Yeah.
You're just looking for different factors.
Yeah.
Because
just know your target group. That's also kind of like...
Yeah, but maybe it's also useful for us to say what we look for, maybe in terms of lead generation. I mean, I, of course, look whether they have, for example, a calendar, which is dynamic, which their pricing is dynamic. I saw a lot of older websites where the prices are just, hey, this week is 500, in the weekends it's 700, and that's all. Yeah. I think those people could really benefit from either a dynamic pricing system or just in general a website that feels more intuitive instead of saying, hey, this is our rate.
Yeah, it's usually like calendar, availability type of thing, and then dynamic pricing, and maybe even also direct booking.
Yeah,
like
and general website look and feel, because
yeah,
I've seen some websites where I was like, yeah, this works, it gets the message over, but I have to read for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I could do this in 2 visuals.
Yeah, I feel like somebody booted up a time machine, back in time, and I'm like, oh, holy shit.
I think there's a lot of people who are happy with their websites because we saw one website which was really bad, but it had really good occupancy.
It was booked. Yeah, I know exactly.
It was really good, but then I was like, I mean, if he doesn't need a better website, why bother? But yeah, I think innovation is very important in terms of websites.
Yeah, a lot of people get comfortable, like it's
they're used to their website being like
people are scared of change.
Yeah, and I think with lead generation, it's good to find people who might be scared to change, and then if you can help them change, I think that's a really good feeling.
Yeah.
But I think within lead generation, it's also important to see which people are not gonna change. For example, somebody with a bad website but with full occupancy, maybe somebody who's a little bit older, they might be happy with what they have. And maybe a younger person would be open to innovation more quick.
Any names that we speak of in leads in this podcast are made up and not real, but basically from what you're saying, for example, like Alexandra would be kind of like an example of like if there is somebody that did business for a decent amount of time, but also they had like an older way of like the website, thinking, how it looks, and like and the way of thinking, then kind of like, oh, there's somebody calling me and they're telling me how to do my job, or like
people are defensive, people are egotistical from that's our nature. Yeah, if somebody, I'm 20 years old, if I call you and I'm like, hey, your website could be a lot better, like it looks good, I'm impressed by your occupancy, but they'll be like, who is this kid? Why are you calling me? How do you see my website?
Who are you to tell me how to do my
because
business?
Their business is probably running for a lot of years, which I respect, but that's one of the important parts about calling, and also thinking about your leads. How much time am I going to invest into this one single person who might not even be open to business? And that's why we're trying to scale to bigger leads now. For example, people with like 10 to 20 houses, because the more houses you have, the more you'll be open for new opportunities, for better managing, etc. And if you only have one house and it's just running and it's a side gig, are you really going to spend or invest that time when it's already working? I think that's also important to take with you in your research. I think we learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Well, dear listeners, you can take that, as Chiel said, and think about it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode.
Hopefully you find more leads after this.
Yeah, and hopefully you enjoyed the episode and my speaking into the nose, quote unquote, voice, because I've been sick for the past week.
I think it was a good 6 part in a row. We might, if you're lucky, we might do 7.
Might do 7. It's going to be 6 and 7. Okay. Well,
this is enough, Dan.
Okay, be seeing ya.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.